guys, so today's video is going to be a review on the brand Morphe brushes. I have gotten a lot of requests to do a video like this. I will be talking about their eyeshadows and their brushes in this video. I think most people are interested to know about their eyeshadows, but I will touch base on the brushes just in case any of you were wondering about the brushes as well. Now, if you don't know, Morphe Brushes is a brand that sells really affordable products. They sell really affordable brushes and really affordable eyeshadows. If you buy their eyeshadows individually, they're only $2 a pop. $2 eyeshadows, and that is incredible. That's dirt cheap. And I actually first heard of Morphe brushes like a year and a half ago, maybe more. No, like 2 years ago, from that girl Shay XO. That's the first time that I had ever heard about them. She had done like a review on them, and I thought that they were such good quality eyeshadows. I had always wanted to pick them up. Then I kind of forgot about them, and then recently I just really got into them. So I have a few brushes from the brand, and if you guys saw my favorite drugstore slash affordable makeup brushes, you would have seen that I included a couple of these brushes. So I do have a few, but I'm going to go over my favorite ones. Not going to go into too much detail because I did talk about them in that video, but I personally think that their blending brushes are phenomenal. I believe they're like under $6 and they're incredible. Blending brushes are to me the hardest brushes to find at the drugstore. I feel like you can get a really good flat shader brush from e.l.f. and an angled brush and an eyeliner brush. Those are easier brushes to find at the drugstore, but I feel like the drugstore is lacking in like the blending, fluffy blending brush area. Do you know what I'm saying? This is like my top favorite brush from the brand, and it is the MB23. It is the ideal fluffy brush. Really comparable to Sigma's E40, the famous Sigma E40. As you can see, they are very similar. This one is just a little bit longer. The hairs are just a tiny bit longer and a little bit more flimsy, but I like it like that because it really just blows out and buffs the eyeshadow in the crease. I love it. I alternate between these two, but honestly, for the price, I wouldn't repurchase this one. I will continue to get my Morphe one. By the way, there's like a bunch of controversy. People say that it is pronounced Morphe and all that stuff, but it is actually pronounced Morphe. I actually was on the phone with customer service not too long ago, and he was like, "Thank you for calling Morphe brushes, la la la." So it's Morphe. Anyway, the other blending brushes I really like as well are the MB13, the MB25, and the M441. These are what they look like right here. The MB13 is a pretty good dupe for the MAC 217. I still like the MAC 217 one better, but it's a pretty decent dupe for it actually. And keep in mind that Morphe brushes has a bunch of different style brushes. They have the MB Black line, which is these right here. These are the brushes that I own, but they also have like the mineral brush line, the studio brush line, the vegan brush line, the Studio Pro brush line, the gunmetal ones, which look really beautiful. And then they all range in price depending on which brush line you get and stuff like that. The face brushes will of course be more expensive, so just keep that in mind. 3 brushes that I really love that are face brushes. First one is this one. This is the Morphe S19. I got this in my BoxyCharm, and it's been my go-to brush ever since I bought it. I use it for bronzer, I use it for everything. I love this brush. This is their deluxe powder dome brush, and it is actually from their vegan line. So this is a vegan brush, which is also really great. This brush is $20, which is a little bit pricey, but it is a face brush. Face brushes are always more expensive. And the quality of this one, like the softness of this brush is to die for. I love this. I want to order a bunch of vegan brushes from them because it's really soft, great quality. And then I really love their dual fiber brushes. This is just like a basic dual fiber brush. It's really good, but I think that their standout one is this one. This is the Morphe M436. And this one is super comparable to that MAC one that looks just like this. It's like that small dual fiber brush. A bunch of you guys own the e.l.f. one, and the e.l.f. one is cheaper, but I love this brush. This is the best small dual fiber brush I have ever used in my life. It's great for cream products. It's great for highlighting the cheekbones. It is just made so sturdy and like thick. I don't know how to explain it, but like when I'm using it, I'm like, wow, this is such a good quality brush. And it is a face brush, but it is only $6.99. This is in their dual fiber collection. collection and their dual fiber collection is actually pretty cheap. So enough with brushes. I honestly think out of all the brushes I've tried, they've all been really, really good. So now I'm gonna move on to eyeshadows and my thoughts on their eyeshadows. I'm first gonna talk about this one really fast. This is one of their palettes that already comes built. So you can purchase this exact palette exactly how it looks because they sell it on their website. Kind of like Coastal Scents and Sedona Lace and all those brands that have these large palettes with a bunch of different colors in them. Morphe Brushes does the same thing. They have different ones with different colors. They have a colorful one like this. They have a more neutral palette with a bunch of neutral eyeshadows, and ones with more colorful smoky deep ones. They have a bunch. They also have like contour palettes, foundation palettes. You know, if you are familiar with Coastal Scents and all those other brands, it's very similar to that. The difference I feel with Morphe brushes is that their eyeshadows are large. I actually had a Sedona Lace palette that was like 100 different eyeshadows in it, and their eyeshadows were tiny, tiny, tiny. These eyeshadows are the exact same size as MAC eyeshadows, and this whole palette retails for only $20. I believe that this specific palette, if I remember, it's called the 35 Glam palette, the 35 Color Glam palette. So there are 35 eyeshadows in here. So you're paying less than $1 for each eyeshadow, which is a better deal than buying them as individual eyeshadows. But I will say, I recommend going for individual eyeshadows. When it comes to this brand, I recommend buying the individual eyeshadows because I think that they are better quality. I mean, do not get me wrong, these have pretty good pigmentation, actually really good pigmentation. I cannot complain. I will show you right now. The pigmentation is there, as you can obviously see, but I do recommend using a primer with this. These are the type of eyeshadows that look better swatched on your fingers and on your hands, even though they swatch pretty darn good. But on your eyes, they can get a little powdery, they can get a little bit chalky. I've noticed that with a few colors in this palette. I was actually using these purples and these greens, and I had to like pack on the color a little bit more and just try to blend a little bit better because it kind of faded in certain spots and it got a little bit patchy. So keep that in mind with this. I still think that palettes like these are worth it because it's so cheap, especially when you want to try out colors. You get so many different colors in one palette. Or if you're a really, really neutral girl, they have those as well. This palette actually has a few neutral colors, like right here. You get a white, a beige, a gold color. Really, really pretty colors that swatch really nice. I actually have this white color as my brow bone highlight. I love stark white eyeshadows because they really lift your brow bone, and it went on super creamy. This white color is not patchy. I have this beige one on my entire lid, and I have this super, super fluorescent yellow in my inner corners right here. I know it's a little weird, not for everybody, but I thought it would be a fun look. So I do enjoy this palette, especially for the money. But like I said, I definitely recommend buying the individual eyeshadows because they are better quality. I don't know why. I don't know if they just put more money into the single eyeshadows than they do into this, and they work harder on their single eyeshadows maybe, but these single eyeshadows, they give off more color payoff. They just are butterier. They're a lot smoother, even though these are still great. Don't get me wrong, these are still great, but their single eyeshadows, I think they're better quality. That's just my opinion. I have this palette right here to share with you guys. I bought this Morphe palette on their website, and I believe this case was about $6.99, and it holds 12 different eyeshadows. You can put your MAC eyeshadows in this, you can put your Makeup Geek eyeshadows in this. I decided to buy this palette and not just stick these in a Z palette because I wanted to tell the difference between my eyeshadows. Just because these look so similar to Makeup Geek since they are the same size, I wanted to make sure that my Makeup Geek eyeshadows stayed in a Z palette and that my Morphe individual eyeshadows stayed in a Morphe palette. This is a great palette though. It's really sturdy. It has a giant mirror, a really nice mirror, and it's really easy to access these eyeshadows because of the dip next to the eyeshadows, and they just pop right out. I will insert a clip of when I first got this, when I was putting my palette together. They come in tiny little pouches the same way that Makeup Geek eyeshadows come in, if you're familiar with those, when you buy them as individual eyeshadows. I don't think you can get these individual eyeshadows in compact form. I think they only come in pan form, but they do stick to Z palettes. They're really easy to travel with, so if you have a Z palette and you order Morphe brushes, you could just pop those right into your Z palette. So I actually do really like this case. It was inexpensive. and all I had to do was take the eyeshadows out of the pouch and pop them right in. Now I quickly want to talk about these eyeshadows I got. Each and every one of the eyeshadows I got are super pigmented, really buttery. I was very impressed with the quality of these eyeshadows considering they're only $2. I still recommend using a primer underneath these because that's just gonna make them look a lot better. My absolute favorite ones that I got, because I only got 12 so that they could fit in this palette, is this one right here. This one is in the number 75. They don't have names with them. That is the only thing that I don't really like, is that they don't have names. They are numbered, kind of like Makeup Forever eyeshadows. So this one is 75. It is a beautiful copper color, and it's just right up my alley. Very buttery and smooth, and on the eyelids it just makes your eyes pop. I love this one. I also really love this deep maroon color right here. This one is in the shade 71. It's a nice deep, kind of like Makeup Geek's Bitten eyeshadow, very similar actually, and it's nice and it's not very patchy. It blends pretty well. I also love this green one right here. This one is the number 78, and it's so beautiful because it has a little bit of a gold undertone, and it would look so nice on so many different eye colors, especially brown. I also really love this one. This one is 70, and it is perfect for anybody who's into those taupe shades. It's such a pretty color, and it just blends on your eyelids so beautifully. I highly recommend 70. And then just as a basic beautiful matte crease shade, this one is really nice. It is called 61, and it's not super light, so be careful with it if you are fair, but it's a nice crease color nonetheless. I will talk about a couple things that I do not like. Ordering the individual eyeshadows, their pictures are kind of funky. I don't know how to explain it, but they kind of look like fake pictures. It's really hard to tell what eyeshadow you are buying by the picture alone. I really wish it was more like Makeup Geek. You know how Makeup Geek has the picture and it has a swatch, like a live swatch on her website, so it's a lot easier to know what you're picking. Because honestly, on the Morphe website, it'll have a picture of the eyeshadow and you really can't tell what the eyeshadow is going to look like that much, and then on the bottom it'll just say like dark brown matte, you know. So I mean, it's kind of helpful, but not really. For example, these two eyeshadows right here, one is 61 and the other one is 63, and on the website I thought they were two completely different eyeshadows, and don't get me wrong, they are two completely different eyeshadows, but they're just so similar that I wish I would have seen what they look like, because I probably wouldn't have bought both of them. I would have just bought one of them because they are really similar. So keep that in mind when you are shopping on the website. Try to Google swatches of the exact number eyeshadow you are looking at to see if maybe someone has swatches of them online, because if not, you're gonna have to kind of wing it. I mean, there are pictures, don't get me wrong, but it's a little difficult. Another really strange thing is that when they have a lot of like back order, or when the website is super busy, sometimes you'll get a brush with no number on it. It doesn't say Morphe, it doesn't say anything, which is a little strange, even though I can tell this feels like a Morphe brush. And then I was on their website and I was looking at their FAQ section, and one of the questions was, why did my product arrive without the Morphe logo? And then it says, because of high demand of popular items, occasionally Morphe Brushes expedites manufacturing by not stamping the Morphe logo. This is done to speed up our product availability. Rest assured, products without the Morphe logo are the exact same quality ingredients, materials, and manufacturing as products with the Morphe logo. So it's the exact same brush, only it doesn't say Morphe on it. So it's kind of annoying if I'm using it for a tutorial for some reason and someone's like, hey, what brush is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that's not that serious, but I just wanted to tell you that just in case you get one in the mail and you're like, hey, mine doesn't say Morphe. Okay, so that really wraps up this video. I really don't have anything else to say. I think they're a great brand. Oh, their customer service is top notch. I actually ordered this and then it was taking forever to ship and I didn't know why, so I called Morphe Brushes and I was like, dude, I placed my order like 5 days ago. He was really nice about it. He was like, I'm so sorry, we've been really backed up because, and this is what he says, because somebody famous posted a video about our eyeshadows on YouTube and it was crazy. And I was like, ding ding ding, Jaclyn freaking Hill. And I knew exactly that it was Jaclyn Hill who he was talking about, because a couple days after she posted that video, or she posted a video on this brand, I went on the website and half of the eyeshadows were sold out, and they probably still are sold out, because the colors that I really wanted, a lot of them were sold out. And I just thought that was kind of funny, but their customer service is actually really great. So yeah, that is my thought on the brand. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. To beat somebody up on YouTube, I'm on JLo's YouTube channel, and somebody said she was old news. And what? They do not really have pictures in, they don't have pictures. What am I trying to say? To know about their eye, down to earth like this, rocking this business. I've grown up so much, I'm in control and loving it. Rumors got me laughing, kid.